6.5 to play in quarter number one. Mill Valley out to an early 7-0 lead. Well, as we were working through some technical difficulties, David Trimble, can you give us a sort of a heads up on exactly, or I tell you what, why don't we bring in our statistician extraordinaire. Let's see, a 10 yards.
Letters together to form words, words to form sentences. Come on, you can do it, Sean. All right, and Mill Valley took a little bit over half of the first quarter to make that score. They punched it in on the ground, and now they're kicking off. Takes it at about the 8-yard line, looking to get around the outside. Not able to do it, and he is brought down at about the 13-yard line. And that's where the Lancers will take over. And it looks like it is going to be officially marked at the 14-yard line. Shawnee Mission East over there getting their marching orders from Coach. And we will see what they come out with. Is this their first possession? All right, so this is their second possession. Sorry about that. And this one is a handoff. He's got a few blockers, cannot get around the outside. And brought down by a host of Jaguars. He does pick up 3 yards, bringing up second. Second and 6, it's looking like. And that's a decent first down run. Get out there, get a little bit. You'd like to see maybe a 5 or 6 yarder, because that just opens up your possibilities for, you know, your second, third down options. And they have that kind of a wishbone set up. And that was a read option, and not a whole lot doing on that one. Does good to get back to the original line of scrimmage, bringing up third down. And they're looking over to the sideline for some guidance to see what Coach is dialing up. Now the Lancers are a little bit understaffed, so to speak, this week. They have a couple of their starters out. So some guys are going to be filling in, and they're going to be doing a pretty good job of that as they connect on that one for what I believe is a first down. And it is. They're going to move the chains. And that one was out to Chase Gilly. And they are moving the chains down. First down. Great pass and catch right there. And they're doing a good job of mixing runs and passes. Keep the Jags guessing a little bit, keeping them honest, not just bringing everybody to the house every single play if they know that it's going to be a run. And this one is a pitch, and he's able to fall forward for, looks like he's going to mark it about a half a yard for gain. And I am completely wrong on that. Looks like it's going to be a gain of 2, according to the PA announcer that I can hear just next to me. We'll call it second down and a long 8. And they've got the play ready. Mill Valley sets up their defense. And he is going to keep this one, and he is about to, and he just kind of flings that one. And I think maybe they might come together for a discussion to see if that's going to be intentional grounding or, and it looks like there is the flag, and they're going to call intentional grounding he was in the grasps.
All right, what I missed? What's going on here, David Trimble?
I think we're in the middle of an intentional grounding call. He was rolling out of the pocket, and he was being hounded by 3 Jaguars, and he was in the grasps, and he just kind of shovel pass, basketball style, the ball, and it went out of bounds, and they're calling that.
Well, we welcome those of you that were trying to find this broadcast over on Huddle TV, which are right now, after stepping out and talking with their support for a little while, they're having a number of issues with the back end of their system and some failover mechanisms that aren't failing over the way they probably should. But fortunately,
what did you just call me?
The good folks at A10 Varsity have been willing to put this feed up on YouTube. So we welcome those of you that have made that transition. We're trying to get the word out here, of course, to the rest of the folks. So here we are, David Trimble, 3rd and a mile for the Lancers, and that's probably a good time for Coach Simonod to use one of his 3 that he has in the first half. Well, or is he asking for clarification with 2 seconds left? Oh, well, that's going to give 5 yards and offsides on Mill Valley. So instead of 3rd and 22, they're going to make it 3rd and 17.
Oh, that's a much different scenario right there. That opens up all kinds of plays on the playbook.
They have to clear the 38-yard line of Shawnee Mission East for a new set of downs. Certainly a tall order anytime they have a flex bone. It's not exactly known as a big play offense. More that traditional 3.5, 4 yards and a cloud of rubber pellets. So we'll see what the coaching staff for the Lancers dial up. Mill Valley still showing that 3-man front and a couple of rushers on either side. Man in motion to Stiglitz. He's looking, his arms are open, waiting for that ball to reach him. And it does not. I believe that's number 4 on the far side. I think that's Chase Geely. Now, and I spoke with Mr. Geely before the game and a couple others. And, hey, give me the exact pronunciation. He said Geely, but a couple of guys standing right next to him said it was Jaylee. So I'm not exactly sure who to believe there, but I'm going to defer to the man himself.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I would always defer to the man himself. And looks like there's a hold, so that's going to wipe out that play and bring that back. And we've got some changing of personnel here. So I would believe that they are bringing on a punting unit with it coming up in, it's going to be, okay, they're taking it back to 3rd down. That's what the confusion was. It was initially going to be 4th down. Now it's 3rd down. So that was probably the punting crew leaving.
And good on Coach Simonod and his staff for getting the attention of the officials and helping them, encouraging them to make the right call. And now the officials going to get together, have another little powwow around the 18-yard line. The line judge says that he's about done now. Coach Appleby is going to step his way out to the 20. He's pointing at the scoreboard. And the clock, he kind of has that exasperated expression, body language, not exactly sure. And there's Coach Strack, make some last-minute defensive adjustments on this 3rd and 20 play for the Lancers deep in their own territory. As I mentioned, have to get it out to around the 38-yard line. Right now they're at the 15.
For the time being, because it looks like they are, the Lancers that is, retreating an additional 5 yards down to their own 10-yard line. And I apologize, I'm not sure why we were backed up.
Well, it's back to 3rd and a mile. Rolling right. Got a man way down, but also surrounded by 3 navy blue jerseys. Jaguars all around. That's going to bring up a punting situation for the Lancers.
And I definitely would not go for it on 3rd or 4th
sure,
and 28 in the first quarter. That'd be pretty dangerous to give
deep in your own territory.
Give them the ball at the 10-yard line. That's probably why I'm not a coach. Actually, I said I wouldn't go for it, so.
Well, there you go.
Sign me up, everybody. Anybody looking for a coach?
Kendon Charbonneau standing at the 40-yard line of the Lancers. In the punt is Tommy Truxas. And he gets it away. And I beg your pardon, that's Jack Reeves. And it takes a nice Lancer bounce and a roll just shy of midfield, where the Jaguars are going to have it for their third possession of the evening. 2:46 left in the first quarter. Jaguars 7, Lancers 0. We'll be right back. Live on now, 810varsity.com.
We're asking people, why do you like Waffle House?
You know what I really like best about a Waffle House? I can stop by here anytime, day or night, that I've been fishing and get good breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
It doesn't matter what time I leave in the morning or what time I get done in the evening. I can come to a Waffle House.
You know what I really like about it? When I end up in the doghouse, I can always come to Waffle House and get something to eat.
First and 10, Mill Valley. Here's Jay, going to hand it off to big number 25, and he is brought down by number 23. And a great tackle again by Jacob Oliver, coming in from his defensive back position, the 177-pound junior, 5'11", Jacob Oliver. Very sure tackling team are these Lancers. Watch their film against Topeka Seaman last week. One of the stats I like to keep an eye on are the yards after contact, just like there now. Reggie Reese, after that initial push by the front four, the Lancers able to get through to that next level, and he's going to be just shy the first down marker. Call it 3rd and 1. Look for a hard count here. Mill Valley likes to do that to try to draw them off sides in situations like this. But the very well-disciplined front 4 and 5 at this point. From me saying not so fast. Jay's going to hand it off to the railroad. The locomotive just keeps turning those legs down to the 30-yard line. Move the chains. 1st and 10, Mill Valley.
And it's so impressive to watch him. You know, it looked like he was going to get the first down, but he ended up picking up 7, 8, 9 yards on that, and a lot of it was after the contact, or after first contact. So now they are at the 31-yard line with a fresh set of downs. Man in motion, comes over the middle, and it does go to him. And he is brought down after a first down.
Inside the 15, and that is Holden Appleby, the backup quarterback. But he is one of the starting wide receivers, showing how multi-dimensional he is. Sort of like Jack Reeves for the Lancers. You know, there's some players that no matter where you line them up, quarterback for Mill Valley as well. Blake Jay has a little streak of him or in him like that. Kind of a busted play, lost maybe a yard, but a good job getting in there by Isaiah Edwards. Number 8, or excuse me, I beg your pardon, that's Quentin Oaks. One of the Oaks boys, big number 85, 6'4", 215 pounds.
And Mill Valley was right after that pretty long run, catch and run. They were up there hurrying up to try and get on there, and I think if anything, they might have, you know, gotten themselves a little bit off kilter there, because East was all over that one.
And there's Jay. He wiggles all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Blake Jay doing it again with 3 seconds left in quarter number 1. Puts the Jags up by 13. Extra point forthcoming.
And if you can see on the bottom of your screen there, those flags running by are some Mill Valley students They do that every time that Mill Valley scores, and the running in cowboy boots is quite impressive, I must say so.
Now, are you talking to me? When I'm in
no.
cowboy boots?
No,
Okay.
you're
All
kind of
right.
one of those, if I see you running, I need to try and keep up because something has gone terribly wrong.
That's fair. Extra point is up and it's good. Mill Valley 14, Shawnee Mission East 0. 3 seconds left in quarter number 1. We're going to keep it right here. Trying to go over a few of the first half stats or first quarter stats. Thanks to our great statistician Crystal up here in the broadcast booth. I'll tell you, for Mill Valley, they've only attempted 3 passes. Everything else has been on the ground, either through Blake J or Reggie Reese. In fact, that's 7, 8, 9, 10. How about that? 14 rushes already to 3 passes. Average rush is right around 9 yards per rush.
And the rush pass play calling selection, it may be a little run heavy, but those passes that they have gotten have been very timely. On that last drive, they made a fantastic catch and run to bring them down in the red zone and allowed them to score.
Mason Gallender, the 5'9", 155-pound senior, was perfect, and he averages around 48 yards on his kickoffs. He's been a busy Jaguar so far here this evening. That one not quite as deep, going to be fielded at around the 11-yard line. Cuts it back into the 20-30. He's got a little green in front of him, and he's got a blocker as well. Midfield, all the way down to the 30, 20, 10, and there he goes. No one is going to touch him. That is Henry Stigley, 5'10", 150 pounds, sophomore, in for the injured Thomas Van Nuys, I beg your pardon. He took it to the house. For the 3rd time in as many weeks against the Jaguars, a special teams touchdown off of a kickoff has been scored against him.
And I think that's definitely going to have to be a point of contention moving forward because, yeah, we're pretty early into the season, and having that happen relatively quite often, I would say that that is definitely going to be a focus moving forward because you can't be giving up big chunk plays like that. Mill Valley is playing at home, but the student section traveled here for Shawnee Mission East, and they were definitely hyped, and they would love to get their team a little bit of momentum as the zeros come up on the clock. That's going to be the end of quarter number 1.
14-7, just like that. Only took him 3 seconds. A little bit longer. He didn't cover the entire 80 yards in 3 seconds. But on the clock, that's all they needed to score 6 plus the extra point. Start a quarter number 2 when we come back live on 810varsity.com.
A term you hear used frequently is the Midwestern ethic. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but there still exists out here in this country an openness and an honesty and a sense of warmth that you feel inside. Thomas Wolfe once wrote, "You can't go home again." Well, that's probably true if you expect to find things as they were, but in a sense, we carry our home with us wherever we go.
Well, if that first quarter is any indication of how this game is going to go, we're in store for a great game this evening.
Now, are you talking about from the technical side of things, David Trimble, or are you talking about actually on the field?
I'm talking about the student athletes
All right.
playing on Friday night under the lights.
And what a beautiful evening it is, around 75 beautiful September evening degrees on this senior night celebration, and that is certainly packing the house once again. We'll have the unofficial attendance for you a little bit later. And looking across the far side of the field on the east side of the grandstands, you see the Lancer faithful making the short 20-minute jaunt down Shawnee Mission Parkway. And again, the freshman cuts it back, and look at that. He's got a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of slick to him all the way out to the 20s, push back maybe just inside the 20 to the 19. Mill Valley's going to have it from there, 1st and 10.
And a little bit of a tale of two cities there. The special teams for Shawnee Mission East, I would think, would have the advantage. They haven't been giving up the big play. But we still have a lot of ball game here to play. Just getting started in the second quarter, 11:53.
There's a lot going on the first couple of minutes of this contest, both on the field and up here in the press box. But once again, thanks to 10 Varsity, we are squared away, and a quick out. Jay gets a hold of Ryan Helm. That is only Helm's second reception on the year for the 168-pound, 6-foot junior. Henry Stiglick. As mentioned before, he's in for the injured Thomas Van Ice, as in California, Van Ice. One of several starters for the Lancers. Coming this way, a little bit of room, gets around the corner. Max Piva, he is spelling Reggie Reese for a short amount of time. He's only a junior, but when he's been given the opportunity, he has impressed.
And here's Mill Valley looking to move it quickly. And, I mean, from what I could see, we'll look at the replay. From what I could see, Shawnee Mission East still had a player trying to get off the field. Mill Valley going with that hurry-up style. And it looks like there may be some laundry on the field at about the 45-yard line of Mill Valley.
Max Piva coming into tonight averages right around 8.5 yards per carry to lead all Jaguars on the ground. He got a one tutty as well, 22-yard long. And also get it done through the air. Got a couple of receptions there as well. 11:06 left before halftime. Mill Valley 14, Lancers of Shawnee Mission East 7. Mill Valley now driving, still inside their own territory, but after the penalty, they're going to get a free 5, moves it out to the 47 of Mill Valley. Bryce Shorten is your wide out at the top of your screen. To the bottom, once again, is Ryan Helm in the slot. Back into the left is Piva as they both look. He and Blake J to the sideline. Plenty of time on the play clock, 17-16. One tight end set, the tight end gets loose on the right side, but he didn't need the right, he goes left. That is Ryan Helm. For the second time on this drive, number 22 brings in his second reception.
And again, the run play split is very run heavy, but the passing plays have come in very opportune times, and that one bringing him down to the 36-yard line, let's call it.
Heavy package in, once again, two tight end look. Max Piva somehow is able to thread the needle, get through that first 3 or 4, that group of Lancers. And it does seem like they're all collapsing at the right spot, but a credit to the left side of that line for Mill Valley. Nick Pillhauer Jr., you mentioned him before, David. LaMarcus Barber, the K-State recruit, the number 8 ranked recruit in the state of Kansas, 6'3", 311 pounds.
Just a growing boy.
He is a grown boy. And this is a Jaguar team that's rolling behind Max Piva. Might have got ahead of the first down marker, no indication yet. If he didn't quite get there, it's going to ring up short yardage situation. Yeah, make it 3rd and 1. Holden Appleby back into the game. Split wide to the left. Bottom of your screen is Ryan Helm. Piva still in the contest, back into the left of Jay. And he gets the handoff. Correction, that is Blake J. He says, I don't need any help. Let me do it myself. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Blake J. doing it again. All day J. Am I the only one seeing these lights flash?
Are you tasting pennies?
I am not tasting pennies, but I do smell, I smell like aluminum cans. I don't know.
But on that last play, I mean, we've got a bird's eye view of everything, and it even fooled us about that handoff. How can we expect these Lancers to be able to tell that sorcery?
Right, the sorcery, the Jaguar sorcery. Extra point forthcoming by Mason Galliner. He's perfect on the year.
I like a good lefty kicker.
Can appreciate that, being a left-footed kicker myself. It is up, splits the uprights. Mill Valley back up by 14, 21-7, 9:17 left before halftime. You are watching. We are live from beautiful Western Shawnee, Kansas on a10varsity.com. We'll be right back.
In the Air National Guard, it's not just the pilots who get their careers off the ground. We can teach you skills that will take you straight from high school to high tech and send your career soaring. For more information, call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG or drop by the new 190th Recruiting Office at Forbes Field, Topeka, Kansas.
This message is brought to you by the Air National Guard and this station.
Blackjack to 7 right now in favor of Mill Valley. Back deep, we expect to see number 20. There he is, standing it around on the near side, right around the 5-yard line. I got a hunch, David Trimble, that they're going to try to kick it away from number 20.
That would be
wise.
I would tend to agree with you on that one. Yeah, after the last kickoff, that he took it back to the house. I think that they're probably going to shy away from getting it to him.
Did they get another recovery? Hard to see, no indication yet. Mill Valley doesn't seem too excited. So it looks like it is going to be Lancer ball, 1st and 10. From around the 33-yard line, their own 33. And it looks like we have an injured Jaguar on the far side. The training staff doing a good job running over, and so is Coach Appleby. And good to see the young man. That is number 4, Garrett Cox. The do-everything defensive back. Played a lot of football for the Jaguars over the 4 years. His high school career. I say 4 years because it takes some of us a little bit longer to negotiate those.
I was going to say, that was your sophomore campaign.
You know what? Sophomore, yeah, that was the best 4 years of my life, my man. Fantastic. And I was the only 21-year-old senior in the school. I tell you, there were a lot of perks that came with that. 1st and 10 Lancers. Handoff, and he is cut up. Wow. Coming in like a torpedo. That is Ryder Farley. Ryder Farley, 192-pound junior. He's got a quarterback hurry. 15 tackles, make it 16 on the year. But Ryder Farley, someone didn't have him blocked.
And I was just getting ready to say that the Shawnee Mission East front line has done a good job on this one. But that one, yeah, there must have been a missed assignment. Or maybe he's just that good, Sean, and he was able to get into the backfield.
This offensive front for Shawnee Mission East is down a couple of players. More on that in a moment. And are we going to have the first sack of the night? We will, and the ball comes out. No indication yet, but the marker is on the turf. Mill Valley says that they have it. The coaches say they have it. Whether or not the guys that are wearing the black and whites agree, well, it looks like it will stay in possession of the Lancers, but not before a huge loss. that's going to push them back inside their own 20, inside their, I'd say, around the 19, 18-yard line, David Trimble.
And for the second possession in a row, they have had a 30 and plus 20 to go. And so that's definitely going to be something they're going to be talking about, probably yelling about in the locker room at halftime.
Some teachable opportunities, teachable moments, and again under pressure, and they're going to get him again. Back-to-back sacks. The helmet comes off, Josh Garcia. That young man is fired up because they've got things that clicking on defense to the Jaguars. Back-to-back sacks. Josh Garcia, one of the men that made it back there first. He's already got one on the year, count of 2 to go along with his 5 tackles for the 218-pound junior, Josh Garcia. They made it look easy.
And they are definitely pumped up on the Mill Valley sideline. Getting home twice in a row on that one, bringing up a 4th and 10, 20, 30.
Can we even count that high? And there's a nice punt by Reeves, and it is taking a very friendly Lancer roll and bounce to the 37-yard line of Mill Valley. Lancer's doing a good job of flipping the field, making it a little bit more challenging for the Jaguar offense as they take the field again. As a reminder, at halftime, we'll have scores and notes from some area games brought to you by 810varsity.com, your home for high school sports. Certainly your go-to place on Friday night for broadcast scores and a lot more. I think we'll even hear Chad Rader on the radio on 810 WHB a little bit later this evening. Single tight end, man in motion, Elliott Fisher. Back into the game, number 25, the locomotive. He cuts left and right. He's into Lancer territory. He's brought out around the 40, maybe around the 38-yard line. I think they're going to say he stepped out right at the 41. 1st and 10, Mill Valley. Move the chains into the backfield, and you know how close that big number 71. That's Elijah Mathis. He came to a big play, and he barely gets back and set again. And the pile goes to the right, and I believe that was Reese. Reggie Reese back into the contest.
And this Shawnee Mission East defense has got to come up big right here to be able to go into this game 21-7 at halftime. 2 scores, we've seen them run the kickoff back. 2 scores can happen in a flash. 3 scores starts to be a little bit of a daunting task.
Jay's going to keep it, going to come back this way. He's going to go back the other way, coming back this way. He's going all the way. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Blake Jay, all day, doing it again. Well, last week, partner, we saw Blake Jay have his struggles against the defense of Lee Summit North. Well, he has certainly righted those wrongs from last week, and he has it clicking. The offense of Mill Valley, that is. And now with 6.5 to play before halftime, Mill Valley 27-7 up over the Lancers. Extra point forthcoming.
And yeah, Reggie Reese must not have liked that feeling that he had after that game last week, or somebody must have said something, because he seems like he's come out a man on a mission.
He's just running, he's running angry. Splits the uprights again, making it 28-7, 21-point spread, 6.5 before halftime. We are live on 810 Varsity, coming to you from Mill Valley High School. We'll be right back after this.
The Earth is 70% water and 30% land. But the entire sky belongs to us.
Copy that. Aim high, Airman.
Well, 3 plays is all it took Mill Valley to traverse their way back to another 6 points behind. A 39-yard quarterback keeper by number 1. That is Blake J for the Jaguars. And now Mason Gallander for the 4th time this evening. 4th time in the first half, a little squibber. Trying to get maybe a little aggressive. Don't typically see that when you're up by 4 scores or 3 scores, beg your pardon.
Well, and I don't think that that's necessarily Mill Valley being aggressive. I think that's Mill Valley being afraid to kick that ball to number 20 back there.
Fair enough.
Because that's the 2nd time in a row they've kind of squibbed it, not in his direction.
63 yards, 3 plays. Took him about a minute. Yeah, not too bad. Let's see how the Lancers can answer. Jack Reeves going to keep it himself. Jack Reeves, the young man, the multi-sports standout. He himself averages over 300 yards per game. On the ground, through the air. He's got 9 touchdowns on the year on the ground so far. He's got an 83-yard long run. Also got a couple of tutties through the air. But what he does not have is a couple of starting running backs. More on that here in just a second. Kind of almost, for a second there, I thought they switched to a kind of a full house backfield. And I did see on the other side there was empty on his right. And once again, Mill Valley. Hayden Heller and Larry Jones. They're just having a little party in the backfield.
And they didn't even invite us, Sean.
Didn't invite us, all us.
Rude.
Very rude indeed.
But I like the play call from East on that one. They got themselves out 5, 6, 7 yards on 1st down. Opens up the playbook a lot.
3rd and 4. I know it's cliche, but a big 3rd down play right now for the Lancers. Going to go down the left sideline. An opportunity. Big fella goes up. And there's going to be a pass interference call. Not sure whether it's offensive or defensive, but based on the movement of both teams, it looks like it's going to go against the defense. I think they're going to get number 24, Jenner Scobie, for being a little bit too handsy here on the near side. And it looks like the Shawnee Mission East student section over on the far side reminding the defense of Mill Valley that they can't do that.
I know that's your favorite chant.
Well, unfortunately, it's not for the Lancers. It's not a spot foul as it would be in the NFL. So they had to kind of do that. I don't know, kind of like a walk of shame, a little bit back. Okay.
A little back and forth.
Maybe.
Never hurt anybody.
A little bit too ambitious. But a couple of the starters that are not on the field at all because of injury, Cannon Zubek, the big fella, the right tackle, he's, what is he, like 6'7", around 300 pounds, multi-sports standout. AAU basketball player, his 1st year here, coming in from Colorado. I don't know where he thought he was going to go because all he saw was blue. Black and blue. Trying to help him up there. He's saying, hey, teammates, could use a little bit of help there.
Over
Henry
here.
Stigley.
Over here, a little bit of help. I just got mauled by some Jaguars.
Well, there you go. That's appropriate. Gus Kettler, one of the running backs that are out this evening, as well as Christian Shaw. So 2 of the starting, or at least, the first couple of backs off the bench as well, are absolutely not here in service tonight. 2nd and 11. There's that flex bone again, trying to go to the right. They got it back to the left. That's Henry Stiglick again. How many times do you think he's heard the cliche, keeps a licking, keeps on a
Stiglick? Probably not very many. I think that's a little bit of a stretch there, Sean.
Is that? But I think.
It sounded better in your head than
as most things do.
Right.
I'm going to have that third piece of pie.
In your head is scary, scary place, kids.
Sure, I don't really need to do my taxes every year. It's fine. 3rd and 7 for the Lancers. The 39-yard line of Mill Valley. Again, going back to the left. And you're going to say that he was able to bring that in. That was number 4, Chase Geely, using his 6'5" frame to bring it in, and it's not going to be enough for a first down, but certainly the Lancers are going to go for it here. It's going to be 4th and short, probably less than a yard.
And when he was running that route, he went past the line to gain, but he had to, the throw was a little bit underthrown, so he had to come back, and his momentum took him back.
Trying for a hard count, man in motion. Looking to the sideline, 7 on the play clock, and I'm sure Mark Simino on the far side is going to say, hey, I got 3 of them. Can't take them with me into halftime. Might as well use one right now, and he does. 2:54 left before halftime. Jaguars up 28-7 over the Lancers. We'll be right back here on A10Varsity.com.
Every day brings new challenges. Maybe you need to stay sharp in a world full of distractions. Beat your own personal record or someone else's. Introducing Bulletproof Greens. Each serving contains 35 superfoods, vitamins, minerals, and digestive aids combined with nootropics that help you focus. Fuel your body and mind, because every day is game day.
Less than 3 minutes to play before halftime. 4th and 1 for the Lancers. From the 27-yard line of Mill Valley, a little misdirection. Is he going to get there? He might have had momentum depending on the spot. Based on where the side judge is marking that, that is going to be awful close, partner. Not sure if they're going to get it.
And Jackson Garcia is 100% sure that he stopped him short of the line to gain.
White hat looking over to the sideline. Suspect they're going to call for a measurement here. Well, the official coming over to the side. I'm not sure what the coaching staff. I think their coaching staff might have been complaining that the spot was just a little bit off. Now we will see the chain gang straight in from Leavenworth Penitentiary. Always do a great job for us.
Always working on the chain gang.
Whoa, whoa. And they're not going to get it. Not a favorable spot for Shawnee Mission East. Now, once again, we're way up here. But based on his forward momentum, I don't know where his knee hit. We have to watch it on replay on A10Varsity.com, but looked like maybe he got not exactly the best spot that he could have. And now Mill Valley with a golden opportunity to potentially put this game in a position that they might be able to play some second and third stringers to start the third quarter. 28-7. Still plenty of time, 3 timeouts in the pocket of Mill Valley. Jay's going to go to the air. He's got a receiver for the first time tonight. I believe that's Stones. Yeah, there he is. Big Stone Zambo, number 88 for Mill Valley. He's only a junior, but his frame, 6'3", 203 pounds. He's been the recipient of now 3 catches on the year for right around 50 yards. Piva back into the game. Piva back into Lancer territory. 1st and 10, Mill Valley. Clock will stop. Still plenty of time, 2:20. But Mill Valley doesn't care. They're wasting no time. The push by the front 4 of the Lancers has not been there this drive. Now they get a nice stop there. A short gain of about 4 or 5. Clock will still run. We'll be well under 2 minutes at the next snap. And we are at 2 minutes before halftime. Single receiver to the far, single to the near. Man back into the left is Piva, who gets the rock again. Bounces off the first, pinballs off the second, falls down. Got to move the chains. Clock's going to stop. Now the question becomes, if you get it inside the 30, the 25-yard line, I got to think if I'm Coach Joel Appleby, I might be thinking about maybe a shorter run to bleed a little bit of this clock.
And that is where the chess game, begins for the coaches. So much more than just foot on the gas. You do not want to give them the opportunity to get the ball back because, as we saw with their touchdown, they can put points on the board in a hurry.
And Max Piva doing it again. Another first down for the Jags. This one goes to the left side, down to the 21-yard line of the Lancers. Jaguars on the prowl. Twins to the near side, one to the top. Jay wants to pass. He's got a receiver. Well, might have zigged when he should have zagged. Miscommunication. He had Holden Appleby with about a step and a half or two on his defender. But Holden's looking up there for the ball, and he had to look from behind. He was not going to get there despite his athleticism. That'd be just a little bit too much to ask the junior, Holden Appleby.
And if I'm Coach Appleby, I am not overly upset with that one. Get those out in a game where they are ahead fairly comfortably. Save the mistakes.
Piva gets it again. They stood him up this time around the 20. They were looking forward to that one all along. And a timeout with 54 seconds left before halftime. Now, for those of you that were joining us from the now dead Huddle TV stream, not exactly sure what happened, but quite frankly don't really care. Care that we're online right now with A10 Varsity, but we did go into the detail about so many injuries on this Lancer squad. Also talk about Brock Ryder, one of the top athletes anywhere in the city. He can play both ways, but he is just absolutely lethal from the defensive tackle position. Now, I've been told that he's close to returning to action, which is fantastic news for these Lancers. But in addition to him, Thomas Van Eyes we talk about, their top returner, but there has not been a letdown. Henry Stiglick has certainly done a great job spelling the junior Van Eyes. Miles McCune, the backup cornerback, he's also out. Reed Crutchfield coming in tonight was also questionable, but he has been playing in the majority of the snaps on defense, along with his 15 tackles and one forced fumble on the year. And you heard us talk about all the playmakers on offense. Speaking of playmakers on offense, number 9, he's wearing the other jersey, one of the Jaguars of Mill Valley. Now down inside the 5:53. They're going to move the chains. Clock will stop. First and goal, Mill Valley. Jay's going to line up in a hurry. Back into the left is Piva. He's going to get it again. No, I beg your pardon. That is Jay. He does such a great job of hiding that ball, but there's no hiding this coming out party for number 1, Blake Jay. Touchdown, Mill Valley.
And again, I'm going to go ahead and just call it sorcery because he had all of us fooled up here. We thought that was a run right up the middle by Piva. And then you just start to notice, oh, there's that guy running really, really fast around the corner. And he finds the end zone.
You get a touchdown, he says. You get a touchdown. But everyone, regardless who's getting them, somehow Blake Jay's a part of it, either by himself with his legs or through the air in his arm. Talk about Blake Jay not having the best of nights, and I'm sure he would agree last week. He did have 204 total yards of offense. So it's a
that's
little bit
pretty funny that
right.
That's considered an off night.
An off night, yeah. Well, and, his counterpart on the other side. Oh, great. We have a little talk about technical snafus all around. We have a scoreboard issue here now at Mill Valley High. Looks like they fixed it. Turn it off, turn it back on. Might have done the trick. Is that you, David Trimble? Try it now.
That is words to live. Those are words to live by.
Gallanter's kick up once again. Splits the pipes. Another point for the Jaguars. 35-7 in favor of the home team. The Jags are rolling. 44 seconds left before halftime now. You're Coach Semino on the far sideline. You got 44 seconds. You're on the road going against, one of the top teams in 5A. Despite tripping up last week, if you even want to call that, and that I think that might even be a little disrespectful to Lee Summit North. And we saw them in person, partner, and they're the real deal. Lee Summit North has dudes up and down every position on the roster. Mill Valley did a pretty good job of staying with them for the first couple of quarters, but really in that second half, it was all about the defense of Lee Summit North and, those special teams plays to keep them in it early.
And it's kind of the same thing here, except for on the flip of that, Mill Valley has come in here and they have been a little bit dominant over Shawnee Mission East as of yet. If I am coach, I'm telling my offense, you know what, I'm not really sure what you need to do, but I have got to get my defense a rest. So to be able to get them the extra.
Why would you want to rest the defense?
To be able to get them a few extra minutes with 44 seconds left to go in this first half, to be able to get them a little bit of extra rest.
So you think they're going to take a knee?
I do not know. I am not a coach. I don't call plays.
44 seconds. I understand it's 35-7. If I'm Coach Appleby, it's still the second quarter. If they take a knee, I might take a timeout. So going to go right up to one of the up backs who falls forward to the 46. I mean, really nice starting field position for the Lancers that they want to try to put together a couple of big plays. And let me tell you something about number one for the offense of the Lancers, Jack Reeves. Look, the kid can spin it. 12-16, 270 yards so far on the season, a couple of tutties. Averages over 104 in the air per game, in addition to the prolific rushing that we talked about just a little while ago. Add all that up, shaking in a basket, and out comes around 300 yards per game.
And I think that they would welcome any sibilance of that.
Sibilance. Miscommunication. They're going to say, we thought about having you out here. Now, is this going to be a little trick play, some sorcery of the Lancers of their own? It is not. Now under center is Jack Reeves, man in motion again, and that's a little bit too much movement. That's going to back him up 5 yards. And that was a broken play from the start. I think you see the coaching staff on the far sideline. They were barking some orders in right before the snap. But not quite fast enough.
And yeah, it did look like there was a little bit of confusion on that one. They had a player running on early, and then a player was getting ready to run off, and they said, no, you're in on this one as well. So I'm wondering if there were some of the players that weren't 100% sure what they had going on.
Chase Geely lining up around the 40 at the bottom of your screen. He is always dangerous. Whether or not they try to take a shot and go back to him is yet to be seen. And it looks like they're going to be fine with just running it right up the gut. Let those seconds tick off the clock. Easy for me to say. It's been a long night already. 22-20. And they don't have to snap the ball again if they don't want to. And quite frankly, if you're not going for a score here, why would you?
Do your best to run it down and
10-9.
Take a shot, not leave Mill Valley any time.
They are going to take a shot. Going down to the left, and there may be a flag again. He's got to turn. Oh. That's interesting. Well, what isn't interesting is whether or not Mill Valley was going to come out hitting on all cylinders. And for the first two quarters of this contest, they have done just that. There is plenty of gas in the offensive tank. And is there going to be a flag thrown on that play? Officials now they're going to say that it is the end of the half. A lot of touching and pushing and grabbing here on the near sideline, and that's just what David Trimble's doing to me up here in the press box. 35-7, Mill Valley over the Lancers. We're going to take a quick break and come back in about 5 minutes with some scores and more from around the area. Compliments of A10varsity.com. We'll be back.
We're asking people, why do you like Waffle House?
You know what I really like best about a Waffle House? I can stop by here anytime, day or night, that I've been fishing and get good breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
It doesn't matter what time I leave in the morning or what time I get done in the evening. I can come to a Waffle House.
You know what I really like about it? When I end up in the doghouse, I can always come to Waffle House and get something to eat.
For the University of Kansas. Her favorite Mill Valley memories are the homecoming parades. That's Bert Foltz. Next up, Allison Graber. She is joined tonight by her mom and dad. Her favorite Mill Valley memories include meeting all of her friends. Allison will attend the University of Kansas to study journalism after high school. Let's hear it for Allison Graber. Next up, Maddie Parizic. She's being escorted by her dad, Jeff Parizic. She plans on attending the University of Arkansas, and her favorite Mill Valley memory is going to football games. Maddie Parizic. Next up, Sienna Suderman. She's escorted by her mom, Jessie, and her dad, Rich Suderman. She will be attending Kansas State University, and her favorite Mill Valley memory is prom. Next up, Lily Suman. Escorted by her mom and dad, Rachel and Jeremy. She plans to major in radiology at K-State. Lily Suman. Next up, girls golf. We'll start with Sarah Aller-Halligan. Being escorted by her mom and dad, Renee and Jared. She will attend college after Mill Valley, but not quite sure at this time. Sarah Aller-Halligan. Next up, Cadence Alston. Escorted by her mom tonight. She plans to attend the University of Kansas to pursue a psychology degree. Her favorite Mill Valley memory is winning state in track. Cadence Alston. Next up, Lola Dumler. Joined by her parents, Scott and Emily Dumler. After graduation, she plans to attend Kansas State University to study elementary education. Lola's favorite Mill Valley memory is winning regionals with her golf team last season. Lola Dumler. Next up, Sydney Epperson. Escorted by her parents, Ann and Blake Epperson. Her favorite memory is winning state cheer twice and winning regionals junior year with the golf team. Sydney plans to attend the University of Kansas and major in finance. That's Sydney Epperson. Next up, McKinley Kendall. Escorted tonight by her parents, Heather and Mike. McKinley plans to attend the University of Kansas and double major in business and visual communications. Her favorite Mill Valley memory is her Europe trip for AP Euro with Mrs. Key. McKinley Kendall. Next up, Abby Krupa. She's joined by her parents, Erica and Jamie. She plans to attend the University of Kansas and major in child development. Abby's favorite Mill Valley memories include making lifelong friends. Abby Krupa. Next up, Kate Ledesma. Escorted by her mom, Lizette, and her dad, Aaron. She plans to study sonography at Fort Hays State University. Kate's favorite Mill Valley memory is making s'mores in Chad Brown's chemistry class. Kate, the dad's mom. Next up, Maddie Martin. Joined by her parents, Edwin and Jillian Martin. Her favorite Mill Valley memory is winning golf regionals her junior year. She plans to study business management with a minor in psychology at Baylor University. That's Maddie Martin. Escorting Jordan Powell tonight are her parents, Karen and John Powell. Jordan plans to major in international relations with a double minor in Spanish and economics on a pre-law track. Her favorite Mill Valley memory is going to stay with her mallet trio and staying overnight in a hotel room together 3 years in a row. Jordan Powell. Next up, Caitlin Tracy. She's joined by her mom and stepdad. She is attending Kansas State University and studying psychology. Her favorite memories from Mill Valley include making great friends. That's Caitlin Tracy. Next up, Sophie Van and Weegen. Escorted by her dad David and Lisa Van and Weegen. She plans to attend Oklahoma State University to study sports broadcasting. Her fourth favorite memory from Mill Valley is winning golf regionals her junior year. That's Sophie Van and Weegen. And last but not least, we have Elena Weiss. Joined by her mom, Jamie, and her dad, Brian Weiss. Her favorite memory of Mill Valley is all the laughter and conversations shared in the car rides to and from golf tournaments. Elena plans to attend college and major in accounting. That's Elena Weiss. Congratulations, seniors. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. We look forward to seeing what your future brings. Attention fans, the Marching Jaguars would like to welcome the 7th and 8th grade students from Monticello Trails Middle School under the direction of Angie Eisenberg and Mill Creek Middle School under the direction of Jessica Brummel. We are excited to have the future of Mill Valley High School on the field with us this evening. The band this evening is led by drum majors Ian Weatherman, Glenn Chrisman, and Tyler Claude. Tonight's halftime show will feature 2 iconic folk tunes. A theme from Ghostbusters and Michael Jackson's Thriller.
And welcome back here at Mill Valley High School. Halftime score 35-7 in favor of the Jaguars. Now time for our 8-10 varsity halftime updates. First on the Kansas side, we're going to start with Lawrence and Olathe Northwest from last night. Olathe Northwest won big, 38-10 over the Lions and Lawrence. Things are not well for those Chesty Lions, about 35 minutes to the west here of Mill Valley High. Olathe North up at halftime, 21-7 over the Bison is Shawnee Mission North, Paola and Ottawa in a tight one. Right now, Cyclones up by 5, 12-7. Lewisburg and Clay Center. Clay Center's got a 13-0 lead going into halftime. Eudora also shutting out their opponent, who are the Broncos of Spring Hill. Eudora 10, Spring Hill 0 halftime score. No score between the Pioneers and the Golden Bears. Turner and Leavenworth. Tongi and Lansing. Right now, the Chieftains of Tonganoxie 26, the Lions 7. DeSoto and Piper in a tight one. Piper, the Pirates right now with a 1-point lead. That is at Piper. Wildcats trying to hang tough, keep their undefeated season alive. Baser Linwood, one of the top teams in the A-10 varsity top 25. They're up big over Shawnee Heights, 22-0. A rebuilding year of sorts for Shawnee Heights. But Baser Linwood keeps on rolling. The Cougars of Shawnee Mission Northwest, 31. Olathe West, future opponent of both of these squads here that you see tonight. Mill Valley and Shawnee Mission East. Olathe West 14 to Shawnee Mission West 31. Olathe South 20, Olathe East 0. Shawnee Mission West, they are down by 15 to the Free State Firebirds 28-13 early in the third. Gardner Edgerton over Shawnee Mission South 28-0. St. James and Blue Valley Northwest. Right now, St. James and the Thunder 14, the Huskies and Blue Valley Northwest 0. Blue Valley North 16, Blue Valley Southwest 3. Aquinas 21, Blue Valley 7, Blue Valley West 5. Bishop Miege 14. That's right, 5. Blue Valley West to 14 for the Stags. Washburn Rural and Platte County. Washburn Rural not afraid to go across the state line, one of the perennial powers of on the Missouri side. Right now up over the Junior Blues, 34-21. Derby have their way with the Salina South Cougars. Right now Panthers up big, 30-7 early in the third. No score between Manhattan and Hayes, one of the hotly watched or potential top games of the state tonight on the Kansas side. No score so far. Emporia up big over Coffeyville, beg your pardon, 28-0. Highland Park, that was final last night, 36 to Schlegel's 18. The Fighting Stallions hanging tough. And Atchison 21, Sumner Academy 6, and that is early in the third. And Rock Creek, again, another one, having to travel a little bit of distance. Bonner Springs looking for the first points of the night, but right now they are down big, 54-0 to Rock Creek. Taking a quick look on the Missouri side. Again, compliments of A-10 Varsity. A10varsity.com. Kearney and Park Hill in a stalemate at 7 halftime score. Blue Springs South, get this, Blue Springs South 37, Ray-Peck 0. Blue Springs South extremely impressive so far this year. Warrensburg 21, Harrisonville 14. Pius hosting Cardinal Ritter, and right now the Lions of Cardinal Ritter up 16-8 halftime score. No score between Winnetonka and Raytown. Same thing with Van Horn and William Chrisman. Excelsior Springs and Raytown also scoreless. As I mentioned before, Washburn Rural and Platte County right now. Platte County's all over the Junior Blues, 34 to now 21 for Washburn Rural. Green Valley 42, Ruskin 0. Truman 6, Fort Osage, the Indians have 9. Kearney and Park Hill tied up at 7, Staley 21. The Fighting Hudgens getting it done over the Wildcats of Blue Springs, 21-7. Bentonville, former foe of this Mill Valley team right now. They are going against Leesima North, a team that really kind of handed it to Mill Valley last week. Bentonville making the long trip up here. They've got 14 points to the good over Leesima North, 21-7. Leesima West and Rockhurst right now. Rockhurst up by 7, 14-7 at halftime. And Liberty North 7, Leesima 0, or excuse me, now 6. Leesima North, or excuse me, Liberty North. Not Leesima North, but the Eagles of Liberty North, another powerhouse program on the other side of the state line, 7. Tigers of Leesima High 6. And the Hornets of North Kansas City 27, St. Joe Central 7. And once again here as the teams make their way back from the locker rooms, 35-7. Got about 3.5 to 4 minutes before we get things underway here to start the third quarter. And we're going to be right back live on A10varsity.com.
Superstar. Attention fans, we've had a cell phone turned in. I found with a gold plastic case found in the girls' bathroom on the north side of the field.
And going into halftime, the score was 35 for the Jaguars, 7 for the visiting Shawnee Mission East Lancers. We have the same score coming out of halftime. Shawnee Mission East won the toss to start the game. They deferred to the second half, so they will receive the ball.
Did I hear you correctly? It is the same score now after halftime as it was when we left the broadcast about 15 minutes ago?
It was. There were no points scored during halftime. There were some fantastic performances by the band, who welcomed the 7th and 8th grade band. And there were also some announcements for senior night for more sports.
Another squibber taken by a nutback again around the 40-yard line, where the Lancers are roughly about the same spot that they started their last drive of the second quarter. So we're going to do it all over again. Now, if you, David Trimble, if you could describe this Lee Summit East team in the first half with an emoji, what emoji would you use?
I'm not sure who Lee Summit East is playing this evening.
Did I just say Lee Summit East?
Shawnee Mission East is here at Mill Valley playing. And the emoji I would choose is the one where they're just kind of like, like ho-hum.
Kind of nonplussed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that there's anything to be really upset about, but nothing really to be happy about either.
The Lancers trying to get some plus yardage on the first play of the second half. They're not going to get it, but I like taking a shot, trying to get it back down to Chase Geely again, who had a nice grab in the middle of the second quarter. They were targeting him a couple of times, but a good job on defense by Jenner Scobie. He got flagged for being a little too handsy in the second quarter, but on that play, he was right where he needed to be without doing that.
And Mill Valley, while that pass was pretty good, it might have been a little bit rushed because Mill Valley did get penetration on that one, and they put a pretty good little hit on the quarterback as he threw that.
Larry Jones says, hey, I want you to go the other way. Kind of doing that He-Man look. Number 8, take a bow. As I mentioned before, the offensive line for the Lancers a little bit bruised and beat up. But I got to really tip my hat. There's Gabe Wallace on the left side and Hank Hunter. We've seen him, and they're being tasked with going against Larry Jones and Easton Englehart and the aforementioned Ryder Farley. And they're kind of sending a couple of those guys on a delayed blitz. Now they're going to kind of back off a little bit here and play a little bit softer defense, anticipating a pass, and they do just that. Get it up to Geely, I beg your pardon. Is able to bring that in, but well short of the first down. They needed to get right to midfield. And down 35-7 on the road at Mill Valley. Looking at a possible punt situation. Try to, 4th and 4, certainly within that 5-yard benefit of a false start. We'll see. And there it is, a big 4th down conversion. This time they go to the right side. Tackle by Aiden Mosley. Number 49 over on the far side. And that number 49, he has been, look at the Paxton Oaks. And he's doing double duty. He's a great linebacker, but also a good wide receiver as well. The Oaks family well represented here tonight at Mill Valley High. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs. This is the first down, let's see, in the last about 16 minutes of play, which is to say they haven't had many today. Gonna keep it himself is Jack running out, and boy, does he have the jets. He gets loose, and he is lethal inside the 15-yard line. And the Lancers coming out swinging, and they've got life.
And that was an excellent run right there. Landon Stockwell from Mill Valley was trying to get him, but he got that stiff arm out there, and he was able to, push him along for another easily 5-10 yards.
9:44, 9:43 left in the third, 35-7. But the Lancers coming out to start the third quarter, firing on all cylinders. Two receivers, one to the top and bottom, going right back to the air. Well, what are you going to do? You keep going to it until Mill Valley's defense takes it away. Right now, the green arrow is pointing in the direction of the team on the far sideline. Shawnee Mission East getting it done here early in the third quarter.
And you're absolutely right. And I love that play call on that. Go into the air is working for you. Make them stop you. And that brings up second and very manageable as they are knocking on the door inside the 10-yard line.
Have an opportunity for a fresh set of downs if they get the ball beyond right around the 5-yard line for a first and goal situation. They may not need it. 7-6 on the play clock. There's Reeves underneath center, man in motion. Going to the right side, Reeves rolls out and he goes right back to that man that was in motion. They say that he did come up with it right around the 1-yard line, so we'll be first and goal from the, I'd say about the half-yard line for the Lancers.
And that was excellent concentration on that one because that was a low throw, and he was able to go down there and get that shoestring catch and not able to regain his footing as he was kind of falling down, but he has them knocking on the door.
And Max Sullivan, number 8, he's only a sophomore, a 5'9", 150-pounder. He's getting things done on the right. A big push, wouldn't call it a tush push, but a good push on the right side, and they're going to say he does get in. Touchdown, Lancers.
And that is a much-needed score for the Lancers, coming at 8 minutes and 11 seconds in the third quarter.
Their first touchdown on offense today. They had the earlier run back by the do-everything utility player, Henry Stiglick. But this is the first time that they have found the end zone by way of the offense, making it 35-13, extra point forthcoming. Tommy Truckus. Kick is up and it is good. And making it a little more interesting are the Lancers, 35-14, 8-11. It didn't take them long to strike, but the Lancers strike first here in the third. We'll be right back. Live on 810varsity.com.
In the Air National Guard, it's not just the pilots who get their careers off the ground. We can teach you skills that will take you straight from high school to high tech and send your career soaring. For more information, call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG or drop by the new 190th Recruiting Office at Forbes Field, Topeka, Kansas.
This message is brought to you by the Air National Guard and this station.
And welcome back, 35-14, 8-11 to go in the third quarter. First series of the third quarter, the second half for the Lancers. 2 runs, 7 passes. The end result is a 1-yard touchdown run. I believe that was, I think it was hard to see from way up here, but I believe that was Jack Reeves getting it done. First offensive touchdown for the Lancers. Well, if you're Coach Semino on the far sideline, coming out of half, being down by as many as they were, couldn't have asked for anything better than that opening drive. But just like we saw, and that was maybe a little bit too ambitious, but a good heads-up stop. Good hands team right in front there. That was number 47, Jack Thomas, the 5'11", 187-pound frame, the senior tight end. Able to reach up, grab it. The waiting hands or the paws of the Jaguar.
And you know what? I don't hate that call because they almost, I mean, they caught him off guard a little bit. He looked a little bit surprised that ball wound up coming right at his face. That was more of a defensive, just putting his hands up to get the get the ball.
And Mill Valley going back to the hot hand, and that is Max Piva, who runs for about 12 first down yards, going to move the chains already inside the 40. And Reggie Reese, after the first week, looking impressive against Olathe East, kind of ran into that proverbial buzzsaw last week over at Lee's Summit North. Not Shawnee Mission North, but Lee's Summit North. And tonight he just has not been firing on all cylinders. Need a little bit more coal in that steam engine of his, but Max Piva saying, hey, just give me the rock. I'm going to get you 12, 13, and that time 14 yards per carry. And on the ground between number 1, Blake J, and Max Piva, between the two of them, they have nearly, get this, nearly 300 yards rushing on the ground. Well, as opposed to in the air.
The rushing ground in the air, it's...
I tell you.
It's a tricky thing, but if you can get it working, it's unstoppable.
Wouldn't that be the killer play, though? Another handoff. Piva just trucking the defenders. Running into number 14.
Tommy Truckus.
See what I did there? Trucked him?
Yes.
I'm sure that young man's probably heard that a time or two, so I figured I'd kind of let that go. 6:50, 6:49 left in quarter 3. 2nd and 1 for the Jags. From the 14-yard line of the Lancers. Going to the left. They've got Piva stood up, and not before he crosses the plane of the first down marker. That's going to move the chains again. Mill Valley will have a chance at another first down should they need it, but it's going to be around 1st and 10 from the 11.5, maybe closer to the 11-yard line. And so far, David Trimble, Max Piva, impressive here early in the 3rd.
And again, that's just another credit because he is just a junior. So being able to get him this quality time and quality minutes and carries is huge because he is definitely going to be back next year.
Look at him go. The guy is, you talk about players that just will not be denied. That is absolutely one of them right there. He's wearing number 9 for Mill Valley. Touchdown, Jaguars. Max Piva does it again.
And I'm not sure how he found his way through there. He was hit, and he was carrying Lancers.
Hold on. What did we miss there, partner? I'm taking my notes. I look up, and they're getting ready to huddle again. Okay. They're going to say that his knee was down around the 70-yard line. So we're going to line up, do it again. Heavy package, 2 tight end look. Another handoff. Going to give it to Peavy. He says, hey, I did it the first time. I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to lay down until I get to the end zone. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Max Piva.
So we asked how he was able to do it the first time. Well, he wasn't. That's why. But he was able to do it this one. It looked very similar. And he was able to punch it in now.
For the 2nd time tonight, but only one of them count. Max Piva finds the end zone. Another 6 for the hometown Jags. Little transpose score, 41-14. Little swinging gate by the Jags. As they line up now behind Mason Gallender. Perfect on the year. Can he convert again? It must be the left leg. As a left-legged kicker myself, I can appreciate the sniper light accuracy. It is up and it is good. 42-14. Right at 6 minutes to play. Quarter number 3. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We're going to be right back live from Mill Valley High School on a10varsity.com.
We're asking people, why do you like Waffle House?
You know what I really like best about a Waffle House? I can stop by here anytime, day or night, that I've been fishing and get good breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
It doesn't matter what time I leave in the morning or what time I get done in the evening. I can come to a Waffle House.
You know what I really like about it? When I end up in the doghouse, I can always come to Waffle House and get something to eat.
Mill Valley behind a 6-play, all-run play drive. They cover 50 yards in about 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go up 42-14. Halfway through quarter number 3. We'll have an opportunity to bring you some scores and a little bit more. Compliments of A10 varsity here in the next break. Some interesting developments around the area.
And we will see if Mill Valley is going to go with the kind of a pooch style kick that they have been doing, keeping it away from number 20, Henry Stiglick.
And they're going to kick it away, and they're going to kick it to the right and all the way back inside the 10, but he's got a little bit of room. Bringing it out a little bit more is Max Sullivan. Sullivan getting a lot of snaps tonight at the running back in the return position due to so many injuries on offense for Shawnee Mission East. As I mentioned before, Gus Kettler and Thomas Van Nuys and Christian Shaw. And that three-headed monster alone, he could play for any roster in this area. All three of them out of service tonight. But the Lancers, based on that last drive, I mean, there's a certain amount of resilience that comes from a drive like that. And from that resilience can build momentum. That momentum potentially turns into another quick score to at least keep them in the ball game with 5:53 left in the third.
And they're going to have their work cut out for them a little bit on this one as they're starting at their own 20.
Sort of like eating an elephant. How do you get that done? Well, one bite at a time, and that's what they're trying to do. That was more like a nibble on that play. Negative yardage play. Kind of expected them to go back to the air, and that's one thing that kind of hurt Mill Valley last week when Lee Seminole started to attack them through the air. Found a couple of weak spots on the outside and got some big chunk yardage. Kind of like what we've seen out of Lancers here this second half.
And I would absolutely go back to the air because it was working for them and it was working well. They were able to march down the field pretty easily the last possession. This one they're having a little bit tougher of a go at it.
Going back to the well maybe one too many times there, partner. Are the Lancers with that rush. Same play, but just going to the right side. Think about this flex bone offense. Mill Valley has played a number of teams over the years. And being, one just down the road, their cross-district rival, DeSoto High School. They run a version of that, as well as St. Thomas Aquinas. And by and large, that flex bone doesn't really give Mill Valley a lot of trouble. And another time, and that's going to be on the turf. A forced fumble into the backfield. Lucky to get back on top of it are the Lancers, but not before. More damage. That front four again for Mill Valley getting into the backfield, having a little party. Josh Garcia having an eye at Hayden Heller, Easton Englehart, Larry Jones and company. Jackson Garcia also getting a little pressure. Ryder Farley. Now 4th and 10. Surely they're going to send Mr. Reeves back a couple of steps and say, go ahead and let her rip, and there he goes. 5 seconds on the play clock, a little bit of a high snap. That does not phase him. It's going to be returnable from the 45-yard line into Mill Valley territory now, inside the 40, and stood up right around the 40. That was Kendon Charbonneau, 6 foot, 218-pound junior. Plays a little free safety position as well, but also really more of a strong safety player, but also a good return man for the Jags. Good stop of the Lancers to put him back on his backside. 3:40 left in the third quarter. We have a couple of updates from around the area. Compliments of A10varsity.com. Games of note at least. Plenty of good matchups throughout the state tonight across all classes. Bring you a couple of those here in just a second after a quick refresh. Well, the defense of the Lancers there with one of their first forced negative yard plays on the Jaguars. since early in the second quarter.
And they were able to get in there and get past the front line of Mill Valley to make that stop. They need to just keep doing more of that. However they got there, go that way again.
Twin receivers to the bottom of your screen. One is Appleby. The other is number 19. That is Anthony Clem. Into the game now. 5'9", 158-pound junior. And once again, Max Piva. Thought maybe we'd see number 25, Reggie Reese, re-enter the game, but quite frankly, when you've got the fleet of foot running of Max Piva that will not be denied, kind of hard to take him out of the ball game.
Absolutely, and I honestly think that they have to be welcoming it because Reggie Reese has had to bear the majority of the load for quite some time in the Mill Valley run game. So
Blake J, a little rocket down the sideline. Incomplete, but I had a shot at it. Did Holden Appleby, but a little bit too hot and off the mark by Jay. It's going to be a 4th down situation now. Presumably, Mill Valley is going to go for it. They're only going to need about 3.5 to 4 yards for the conversion. Too long for a field goal. Doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense to punt it and potentially have it reset at the 20-yard line. From the 33-yard line of the Lancers. Jay with a hard count, looking to the sideline for the call. Coaching staff waiting for the call from upstairs. 7-6 on the play clock. Got to think that Coach Appleby's probably going to go ahead and let this run down and call a timeout, which he does. 2:21. Well, the clock's still running. The clock's still running. The clock's still running. And the clock is still running.
Running.
There we go. And the clock has stopped.
And I would assume that we will have a reset. I think it was about 2:21, 2:21.
Whatever it takes.
We'll get a reset time. Yes, and the white hat is now motioning that we need to make an adjustment.
I thought he was telling you you were number 1. That's what I think he was doing. Well, how about some scoring updates from around the area? Olathe North 28, Shawnee Mission North 7, Cyclones of Otto 12, Paola 7 early in the second half, Clay Center 21, Lewisburg 7, Eudora 10, Spring Hill 0, third quarter score. Golden Bears and the Pioneers, Leavenworth Turner, no score. Right around halftime, Baser still up over Shawnee Heights, 22-0. And 4th and 4 for the Jaguars, and they're going to throw. Ambitious play call. Make it look so easy. Touchdown, Anthony Clem. Touchdown, Mill Valley. What poise we just saw from number 1, the senior signal caller, Blake J. He had some pressure coming at him, but he was not going to be faced. He knew exactly where he was going to go with that bullet. He lets it go right into the waiting hands of Anthony Clem, and another 6 for the Jags.
And that's just another reason why Coach Appleby is the coach that he has, and he's had the success that he has, because I would have bet dollars to donuts. I like donuts, that they were going to run that one to Peavy.
Piva, absolutely.
Piva, yeah. And there they get the strike for, what was that, about a 32-yard?
Here's Gallender again. I'm not going to say he's perfect on the air, as I don't want to give him the old broadcaster jinx. He says, no problem. Mason Gallender, impressive. Sure, Mill Valley like to see him in possibly a field goal situation at some point. Kind of get him familiar with that for some contests later in the year. But speaking of contests later in the year for both of these squads, first for Shawnee Mission East. Next week, they're going to face off against Olathe South, followed by a tilt with Lawrence, Shawnee Mission North, Olathe West, and then Shawnee Mission Northwest. And quite frankly, and I shared this with Coach Semino earlier this week, I said, if for somehow you can get by the Jaguars, it's certainly possible that they could go into the playoffs undefeated. No disrespect to any of the teams that I mentioned, but just based on some, historical information about the programs and the record so far this year. But if the game holds like we think it probably will right now, 49-14, unless that proverbial piano falls from the sky, Shawnee Mission East will be picking up their first loss of the year, but I can absolutely see them going into the playoffs with only one loss. Mill Valley, on the other hand, they're going to go on the road next week to Lawrence High. They're going to come back here, back-to-back games with Shawnee Mission Northwest and Olathe West. Going to go on the road to Olathe Northwest and then be right back here for the Bison of Shawnee Mission North to finish up the regular season. Next week, I believe we're going to be down the road to the west about 12 miles at DeSoto High School. DeSoto takes on Baser Linwood. Cutting it back, and again, are you kidding me? Are we going to see, for the fourth time in the past two games, a run back against Mill Valley? Touchdown Lancers.
And it looks clean. There was a little bit of contact. I think they were maybe hoping.
That is Max Sullivan. We've been saying his name quite a bit over the last little bit, partner. Max Sullivan takes it to the house. An injured player, injured Jaguar, it looks like, around the 46-yard line of Mill Valley. How about number 90 for Mill Valley? You see him? That's Devin Edwards. He's 6'3", 227. I feel you, big fella. But he was in an all-out sprint. I mean, he was like a cannonball. I mean, there was no stopping that young man. He was trying to get in the right place, not knowing that we have a little delay here.
Well, I think he does know that because I'm pretty sure he was the one helping him stretch out that cramp, and then the training staff said, hey, we got this. You go get down there. And he's off to the races.
You know, whenever the kicker goes in to try to make a tackle like that, you know, thinking back to my days playing ball, you know, I remember the coach always saying, hey, you know, if you've got a situation where you got a run back going on and the kicker's the only guy between, you know, your returner and a touchdown, take him out. You got to lay a block, and I think that's exactly what just happened. Callender kind of got shaken up on the play. Probably not used to that too often. Oh, an official timeout. No, I think Coach Appleby's going to call a timeout with 1:58 left in the third. Jaguars up 49-21. After that run back, extra point up and good. I'm just going to keep it right here. Oh. And I've just been handed a piece of paper. Friends, the unofficial attendance here at Mill Valley for this senior night celebration. This Sunflower League battle between the Jaguars and the Lancers, including the people on the far side that made the trip from Shawnee Mission East. 3,340 in attendance here at Mill Valley, unofficially at Mill Valley High School for this Friday night fiesta, this football fiesta in the Heartland. You got a front row seat to it here. Compliments of 810varsity.com for free. Glad you're spending some of your Friday evening with us. Sorry about the issues we had earlier this evening on Huddle TV. A little bit out of our control. But this certainly, I think, is preferred by many anyway. So here we go, a little squib. That's going to go out of bounds, going to let it go. That's a free few yards for Mill Valley to start their third drive of the third quarter. With 1:58 left in the third. So David Trimble, Coach Seminole on the far side, he had a couple of great plays to start, a couple of series to start the second half. Got some good points out of it. He just had the run back. Regardless of what happens tonight, the rest of the way in this final quarter and 1:58, you got to think that Coach Seminole likes the resolve of his team. And we've seen it. You know, we've been fortunate to be here and some other places around the area where we got some lopsided games. And more often than not, quite frankly, the team that's down by 20, 30, 40 points, you can just kind of see they're dejected, their heads are hanging. But this Lancer team, they're playing hard. They're playing like it was the first snap of the game.
And there's absolutely no quit in this Lancer team. They have absolutely not been doing that. They have been holding their heads high, and the offense has been able to get going a little bit. And
yards after contact again. Look at that, another 10 yards. The guy is a first down machine. He's got number 9 on his jersey, but he gets 10 nearly every time he touches the ball.
I like what you did right there. That was very nice.
Gage Mayfield, Elijah Mathis, Elijah Wilson, Quentin Oakes. I mean, they've got their hands full, and it's not like they're not getting, they're in the right place at the right time. But again, you got like LaMarcus Barber, 311 pounds, Nick Power, 282, Fitzpatrick, 242. There's just more displacement. Look at that, another truck. Are you kidding me? Can anyone bring this young man down?
And he absolutely drug Brady Boxberger the additional 5-10 yards after that contact to pick it up the first down and get it down to the 35.
Only thing that can bring him down is, you know, the turf monster or the end of the corner or the sideline. He has just been absolutely dynamic. What a two-headed monster this is for Mill Valley. And there's, yeah, you knew that was a coming. It's like probably going to be a hold based on what I was seeing there. But then again, I have some pretty poor eyesight. I mean, a kid, you know, they're all kids, but Max Peave is 6'1", 212-pound junior. I remember doing a Mill Valley game a couple of years ago, and that was a holding, confirmed now, but Piva, I think that guy's probably put on 30 pounds of muscle in the past 2 years.
And he was putting a hurting on some Lancers that were trying to bring him down on that last run.
He wanted that extra yard like the Axe wants the turkey. 49-21, 46, 45 seconds left in the third. 9-8 on the play clock. Jay getting the call. Piva back and to the right. Gonna give it to Piva, and he's got a lot of green. All he needs is to get around that last defender, but a fantastic stop. That was again number 14. Okay. That was same. These jerseys are so much better than last week when we have, you know, maroon on black. That's near impossible. Sometimes later in the game, you know, the jerseys are kind of wet from the sweat and they kind of get all bunched up. A little bit more challenging. But wasn't the third quarter not as challenging for Mill Valley as we thought it was going to be at the first couple of moments when the Lancers just drove right down the field behind, was it 6 passes and 1 run? Well, we're going to see one more quarter of play here at Mill Valley, and we're going to bring it to you for free on a10varsity.com. We'll be right back with some score updates and more right after this.
A term you hear used frequently is the Midwestern ethic. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but there still exists out here in this country an openness and an honesty and a sense of warmth that you feel inside. Thomas Wolfe once wrote, "You can't go home again." Well, that's probably true if you expect to find things as they were. But in a sense, we carry our home with us wherever we go.
Well, it is kind of a Western theme here. The student section of Mill Valley, they are all decked out in their cowboy boots. Got a few cowboy hats as well, a lot of bandanas in the crowd down and to the right. Part of this, over 3,000 unofficial in attendance here at Mill Valley High. I look up and they're already playing. Another first down for Mill Valley. That is the, I believe, if my math is correct, the 14th first down for Mill Valley. Tommy Truxas down on the far sideline. Hopefully he's all right. And an uncharacteristic little wobbly snap by Michael Fitzpatrick. Like Jay said, hey, I'm going to live to fight another day. He falls on it, avoiding disaster. 49-21 as we start the first 38 seconds of the final quarter here at Mill Valley. Bringing some scoring updates here. Next break. Tried some different tea. This happened last year over at DeSoto. I tried some tea with, I think, just mint. It's like mint tea. Hey, it smooths the throat. It does a fantastic job, and licorice. Great job. But it makes me sound like I'm going through puberty.
I mean, it happens to the best of us. Normally it happens a little bit earlier. As one of the Lancers jumped, tried to
Well, I don't think he jumped.
Himself.
He just fell over, David. Fell over, no flag. Piva, about the only thing that's going to stop him. Are you kidding me? Max Piva highlight reel. And flags galore in the end zone. But another score by Piva. We'll see what that flag is, whether it's in the personal foul variety or potential hold. Not sure yet, but Mill Valley seems confident enough. They're sending out their kicking team. Well, he had all kinds of room on the left side. Then it kind of closed a little bit, like an all barn door, but he pried it open. Had his crowbar in there with his feet. Worked his way in, making it a 55-21 advantage for Mill Valley, 10-25. Left in regulation. Extra point forthcoming. So you're going to see Mason Gallender in after he took a kind of a hard hit earlier. And Coach Appleby having a visit with the white hat. Sure thanking him for the great job that he's doing tonight. Gives us an opportunity to also mention those that are wearing the black. Oh, that is going to be a personal foul, and I think they're probably going to take it on the kickoff.
Shawnee will be assessed on the kickoff.
Indeed it will. Well, partner, 55-21. I know we talked a little bit before the game started, before anybody could hear us, quite frankly, due to the technical issues on Huddle TV. But as we were talking before the game, we said, hey, if Shawnee Mission East comes in here with a healthy squad, they absolutely can hang tough with Mill Valley. Unfortunately for the Lancers, they did not bring a healthy squad in here. There are just so many injuries at those key positions, especially on offense, and a couple of those defensive line positions as well.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. If they have their two starting running backs, I think that this is a completely different game, because the firepower, they've had it working through the air fairly well. And if they had those two starting running backs to be able to complement that aerial assault, I think that this is a 56-55 shootout.
How about some scoring updates, partner, from around the area? Olathe Northwest defeated Lawrence 38-10. Olathe Northwest 28, Shawnee Mission North 7. Ottawa 12, Paola 7. Clay Center up big over Lewisburg 34-7. Eudora 10, Spring Hill now with 7. No score between Turner and Leavenworth, Lansing and Tongi. Lansing fighting their way back. The Fighting Pollards going against the Chieftains 26-15 in favor of Tongi. DeSoto and Piper. Right now, Piper up by 2 over the Wildcats of DeSoto. That is a game at Piper, 15-13. DeSoto we're going to see next week when they welcome in Basehor-Linwood. And that UKC conference matchup between DeSoto and Basehor-Linwood, I think what is it, the last 8 or 10 conference championships have gone to one of those two squads. Sure to be a good matchup Olathe South 20, Olathe East 0, and Shawnee Mission Northwest 45, Olathe West 20. Kind of odd to see that kickoff from inside Shawnee Mission East territory.
East ball, first and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
For those of you wondering, well, what would happen if you had a really strong leg and you could start or kick it off in the 45, essentially be a 55-yard field goal? Would he get points? No, not on a kickoff. But good thought. I like where your head was there, David.
And with two runbacks in this game, I don't think that they are.
Two runbacks tonight, two last week. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that this week in practice, Coach Appleby and his coaching crew probably going to spend a little more time on special teams.
Right, so I don't think that they are upset with the touchback at all.
And that is, that's Jack Reeves. There's no quitting that young man. Garrett Cox coming in, making the stop for Mill Valley. I would expect that Coach Appleby's probably going to try to get some of his role players in, the second, third teamers. Kind of work them in as possible. 2nd and 7 for the Lancers. 21 of Shawnee Mission East. And let it go down the left side, and almost a circus-like catch. And that's the thing about passes like that. A lot of times you're not going to make the completion, but when you have your man beat, and we're going to see this, and this is going to go against Mill Valley, and that's going to pick up some easy yardage for Lee Summit East. Or I did it again. I should stop
reading scores.
Stop reading and actually just start watching. But, multitasking is hard. But why not take a shot? I mean, you're down 56-21. The fullback trap, the 3 yards and a cloud of dust probably aren't going to get it done. Hey, why not open it up a little bit? You had success the first drive of the second half. Why would you not go back to it?
And it does you the favor of stopping the clock if you don't make the completion. So there's not a whole lot of downsides to it.
Now, Jack Reeves almost tackled himself. It looks like the turf monster almost grabbed him. He was a little off balance. Did a really nice job of regaining his composure, making the completion. It's going to be spotted just shy of the 45-yard line of Shawnee Mission East for a 2nd and 3 play. Clock's ticking away, 9:12, 9:11 left in the 4th.
But a very manageable 2nd and 3 here. That leaves them. They could go with the run. They could go with the pass.
The fall ahead will move the chains just shy of the 50-yard line. First downs have certainly been at a premium for Shawnee Mission East tonight. They get another one right there. Going back to the full huddle. Two receivers, one to the top and bottom. Gonna throw it again is Jack. He's got a receiver, and that's from up here, partner. It sure looked like the defender might have had his hand around the waist, but the officials are right there, and they did not throw the flag. But what a beautiful ball thrown by Jack Reeves down the right sideline.
I mean, it looked like he was wearing him as a cape. I'm not sure how there wasn't a flag on that one, but again, I'm up here. I have terrible eyesight. I can't see anything. Hopefully this.
I wonder if that spider showed up on the camera.
I don't think he did, but
he's building the web.
That's what I'm saying. He's doing some work.
So are the Lancers, and Jack Reeves tripped up from behind. That is Landon Stockwell. Stockwell coming into tonight, he had 10 tackles on the year, 1 for loss, with a 5'10", 188-pound senior. Landon Stockwell, kind of one of those tacklers. He's always a sure tackler, Very good form, fundamentally sound. Break down, see what you hit. Fortunately, you still see so many, even in the college level, the defenders will come up and they'll lower their head. They don't see what they're trying to hit, and that is a dangerous play for a number of reasons. And there's the flag. That's going to be, a little procedure, a little false start. Going to back him up. Going the wrong way if you're a Lancer fan. As I mentioned before, Mill Valley going to take their show on the road next week to Lawrence High. Going to come back here for back-to-back games against Shawnee Mission Northwest, Olathe West. Go on the road, I believe to Seaback, right down K7 to Olathe Northwest, and finally for military night, the last home game for Mill Valley, going to be here at Shawnee Mission North. Coming across town. Lancers next week going to face off with Olathe South, followed by Lawrence, Shawnee Mission North, Olathe West, and Shawnee Mission Northwest. Outside of Olathe and well. Crowd certainly get into it. 4th and 12 from their own 47. They have to get it out to the 41 of Mill Valley for a fresh set. Plenty of time. Looks like they didn't exactly reset that play clock in town. It matters not. There's Reeves. He's got a receiver again. Able to make the catch for a first down inside, nearly inside the 30-yard line of Mill Valley. 1st and 10 Lancers.
And that was a fantastic catch. He had to have known the hit was coming, but he stuck in there, made the catch, picked up the first down.
One of those hospital hits, as they say, in the bigger leagues. I mean, as a quarterback, you never want to put your receiver in a position like that. But, hey, when you need yards, you'll take them any way you can get them. And a good job, as you said, David, the receiver to hold on to it. Coming back into the game, big number 90, there he is. And I think they're going to have to give them enough time to substitute, but Coach Appleby, he's got a couple left. He's going to use one of them right now. It's 7-11 left in the 4th, 56-21. Jags up big over the Lancers. We'll be right back.
In the Air National Guard, it's not just the pilots who get their careers off the ground. We can teach you skills that will take you straight from high school to high tech and send your career soaring. For more information, call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG or drop by the new 190th Recruiting Office at Forbes Field, Topeka, Kansas.
This message is brought to you by the Air National Guard and this station.
Never too early for a little Christmas music. These two teams have certainly provided us with a gift of their athleticism all evening long here at Mill Valley High. Jaguars up 56-21, 7-11 left in the 4th. 1st and 10, Lancers behind a couple of great passes by Jack Reeves, but he's not going to be, he is the Houdini of quarterbacks tonight. He escapes again, falls down to get positive yardage, talking about, the epitome of making something out of nothing. Again, his athleticism on display. Jack Reeves getting it done for the Lancers.
Because that absolutely should have been a loss of about 7 on there, and he was dodging and ducking and doing whatever he could, and he's able to pick up a couple of yards.
We're being effusive in the praise of his ability to pass. We're saying, hey, Lancers got to pass more. Well, when you have the rush that you do coming from Mill Valley, maybe you're going to have to pull your quarterback out from under center, put him in the pistol, put him in the shotgun, give him just a little bit more time, because quite frank, he's not going to throw the ball as he's backpedaling. He's not going to throw the ball when he's got a blue jersey in his face. Just not going to happen. So he's trying to make it, buy him some time with his legs, rolling out to his right. And he's been successful when he has that extra second to make that completion.
Absolutely, and that lets plays develop down the field as well. And if they've had time, they've had good looks downfield.
Mixing it up there a little bit, and
Reeves on the keeper, good for a Lancer, first down.
officials signal that they did clear the first down marker. Just over 5.5 to play in the fourth. 56-21. Scoring update here momentarily. Once again, Jack under center. He's got a little bit of time and a receiver in the end zone. Oh, that would have been a fantastic highlight reel catch. And I think Oaks had it right in his hands. But the way that his body was kind of contorting on him, momentum carried him the other way. Now able to bring it in. Scoring update on the NCAA level. For you Hawkeye fans, you're in a tight one with the Scarlet Knights. All tied up at blackjack. 8:37 left in the third quarter. Second and 10 from the 20-yard line of Mill Valley. Man in motion, going to the right again, and he is being chased. Is he going to get away this time? He's not. He is going to be brought down. That's not Ryder Farley this time. That's number 43, Gavin Welch. Gavin Welch, he's 5'7", 185 pounds, and he's only a sophomore. That kind of size and speed, bright future for that young man. And too many negative yardage plays for the Lancers tonight. They just had another one, 3rd and 16. Drive that started right around the 20-yard line, and Mill Valley is now around the 26. That's a great little comeback. I love that call. Use the athleticism of your receiver. Chase Geely. Leading receiver for the Lancers coming into tonight. Get this, he averaged, coming into this game, averaged over 22 yards per reception.
And I got to think he's pretty close to that this game. He's had some pretty big plays.
Less than 4 to play. I'm not sure what that was. It's down to 5, or they're probably going to have to take a timeout. 3-2 on the play clock, and indeed they do. 4th and 5 from Mill Valley's 15 when we come back live on a10varsity.com.
Every day brings new challenges. Maybe you need to stay sharp in a world full of distractions. Beat your own personal record or someone else's. Introducing Bulletproof Greens. Each serving contains 35 superfoods, vitamins, minerals, and digestive aids combined with nootropics that help you focus. Fuel your body and mind, because every day is game day.
Yeah, there's my jam right there. I don't know how many shopping days are left. Let's see. October, November, December. I'd say there is about 95 shopping days left and only 3:45 left here in regulation. 4th and 5 for the Lancers across the middle. And again, one of those shots. And that's a tough. Look, I know Mill Valley's not going to be the faithful right in front of us. They're not happy with that, and you understand. And that's going to be a first down. It's going to be a personal foul, defenseless receiver call. And we certainly hope that he's okay. He's a little bit shaken up, a little woozy as he walks over. That's big number 49. I think that's Paxton Oaks. The 6'3", 200-pound senior, despite his frame, he got Kind of lollywopped around the 1 yard line. Automatic first down. Should be a half the distance penalty. Wait for the official word from the white hat. But yes, it's a football play, and I know Coach Appleby's standing out there and he doesn't like it. You certainly understand it both ways. But a credit to the officiating crew, and I think that's kind of a call you almost have to make for the safety of the players. And you can't change what happened, but you're trying to send a message to the players that, hey, you know, when you have a player like that and you're sandwich them in, may not be the best option. And we have a scoreboard malfunction again. Scoreboard brought to you by Huddle TV. And the scrum now pushes inside the 5 yard line. Time still a ticking, 3:29, 3:28, second and goal from around the 4 yard line for the Lancers. If they can punch it in here, you know, if they can maybe make it a 29, 56-29, you know, every point at this juncture of the game, I mean, it's something that you build on. Oh, and they're still, I think Coach Strack's down there, he is not happy either. They're going to try to bend the ear of the official anytime they can. Sideline violation, or warning, I should say. And that's understandable. You know, you like from a fan perspective, you love to see your coaches advocate for your players out there, and that's what you teach. I mean, you don't teach situations like that in practice because you can't. It's such a bang-bang play. But I still think it was the right call. But hey, there's Reeves. He thought he had the corner, but guess who didn't? That's Landon Stockwell yet again. Landon Stockwell. Having himself quite a night.
Yeah, showing off the closing speed and being able, the awareness to be able to make that play.
So what do you run here? 3rd and 5 from the 5 yard line. You know what I do? I got a big tight end that we really haven't seen much in the offense. His name is Aiden Mooney. He's number 89. I don't know if he's on the left side there or not, but he's someone that could certainly get loose in a hurry. That one a little bit too ambitious of a throw, but right behind him. He had to get rid of it in a hurry because Gavin Welch again. Gavin Welch, another Jaguar defender, having himself a night. That brings up 4th and 5. Both of these teams can certainly, you know, the outcome of this play will not determine the outcome of the game. But from a defense perspective for Mill Valley, I mean, this could be a huge stop, you know, in light of the penalty. Certainly momentum that they could build for the rest of this game and then carry forward into the next one.
And then this is just absolutely good practice because, again, you can practice situations like this, but once you're here, it's on Friday night, you're backed up against your old – this is real. You know, this isn't going up against your own team in practice. To be able to get
well,
I'm not sure I missed the call there, but to be able to get that goal line stand, you know, 4th quarter, 2 minutes left, to be able to get that for real in, you know, a game where the outcome is pretty much determined already, to be able to get the defense to have that situation is very good for Coach Appleby. And we must have missed a call there because there was an unsportsmanlike pushing East back to, looks like right at the 20-yard line. They have to get in the end zone.
Call it 4th and goal from the 20-yard line. Twin receivers. There's the big fella, number 85 at the bottom of your screen. Got to think that he's going to be a target with his big frame. That is Quentin Oakes. Looking to the right. Now back to the left. He just got to let it rip, and that's going to go right into the waiting hands of a Jaguar. But here come the flags. They came in from both sides. Now, I didn't see anything, partner. I was more focused on, hey, which player is going to come up with that pick for Mill Valley. Is there a potential pass interference? Is there a defensive hold? I think they're signaling pass interference. Well, well, this will be about the, what is this, the seventh play that started inside the 10-yard line.
We go up, we go back, we go up, we go back. And here we are at the 10.
At the 10-yard line. Going to play it again. This time now they have only half of what they needed. On the last play, 4th and goal from the 10-yard line for the Lancers. Reeves under center. He's dropping back under all kinds of pressure, but he gets it loose. But he is brought down again. Brought down by number 44, and I think that is Ryder Farley responsible for that stop. Indeed it was, and the Lancers thwarted yet again by the Jaguar defense. A lot to unpack on that series. A lot of penalties. I think we had more penalties than those last, 6 plays I've seen in the same amount of time. And there were 19 plays total on that drive. Our great statistician, Crystal, is telling us, which is really Dave Trimble's alter ego, but, whatever works.
It's only weird if I answer back.
Right.
Talking to yourself is completely normal.
But you wanted me to call you Cinnamon with an S, and I don't understand. I mean,
it's only weird if we make it weird.
Well, I think we just did. And that was a broken play that ended up. Let's see, where are they going to spot the ball? Right around the 1.5, 2-yard line. Another zig when it probably should have been a zag play. 1.5 minutes to go. 56-21 in favor of the home team. This will be another victory for Mill Valley in celebration of senior night. Mill Valley is going to advance to 2-1 on the season. The next foe for the Jaguars is going to be on the road next week at Lawrence High. Wow. Shawnee Mission East.
Another flag on the far side, and he motioned for the Lancers to.
Now that's interesting.
So I would have thought that would have been an actual penalty because
that's a sideline. That's a side, yeah.
Well, but I guess Mill Valley got a warning.
Right.
Now they get a warning. Everybody, you get a warning. I get a warning. Everybody gets a warning.
Really unique in a 56-21 game. With 1:20 left on the clock, a lot of frustration. I know there was some pretty high hopes for Lancers coming in here tonight to Jaguar Stadium, thinking that they could earn their way to a 3-0 start for the first time in a long time. That's not going to happen tonight. I think there might be a little bit of jawing by some of those linebackers that are kind of creeping their way in, but I was afraid that maybe we'd have like a Troy Polamalu, sort of an over-the-top there. Fortunately, we did not. In the waning moments of this contest, as I mentioned, Shawnee Mission East going to go to 2-1 on the season, as will Mill Valley. And the schedule ahead for both of these squads, you could certainly see both of them entering the playoffs with a 7-1 record. And with 11, well, I'm not sure that they can quite be on the field yet. But the players are lining up at midfield for the post-game handshake. Love to see the sportsmanship. A couple of well-coached programs. And I tell you what, in watching this game tonight and a little bit of film last week against their game with with Topeka Seaman, this team for Shawnee Mission East, I tell you what, the future's absolutely bright. The rosters, I look at this roster, nearly 90 kids, active kids on the sophomore, junior, senior roster. That's not even including the freshmen. So Coach Semino and his crew certainly have things going on over there in Prairie Village, and look for good things to keep happening for them in the future. For Mill Valley, well, more of the same, as kind of what they did last year. They fell to Lee Summit North when they come over here, but after that they rattled off win after win until they ran into that St. Thomas Aquinas buzzsaw. They fell by 1 point in sub-state final. But certainly a lot of football to be played for both of these two teams. Partner, not a bad way to spend a Friday night.
And that was, if I'm either coach, I'm happy. I've got stuff that worked well. I've got stuff that we need to work on. So if I'm Shawnee Mission East, I'm not hanging my head down. We've got 21 points on the board, and we've got some things that we can work on this week before we started back up again next Friday.
And next Friday we will be just down the road to the west at DeSoto High School as they host Baser Linwood. Not sure whether we're going to try to see if they can kick the tires on Huddle TV or if it'll be on 810 Varsity. We'll have to let you know on that. But from a good friend and partner, not that kind of partner, David Trimble, and our statistician extraordinaire, Crystal, and I say that in air quotes, Crystal. My name is Sean Brewer, and until next time, good night, everybody.